Guruganeshabhyam Namaha. In an earlier episode, we saw why there are 51 Shakti Peethas. They correspond to the 51 alphabets of Sanskrit. Devi's body is made up of these alphabets. In addition to this, there are some Upapeethas also, where part of an organ or an ornament has fallen. So some sources take the number of Shakti Peethas as more than 51. This is the reason. Now we will see some more mystical aspects of the legend of Sati. The universe comes into existence when Parabrahma imposes limitations on himself, because the universe and the components of the universe need to have defined size, shape, and longevity. Limitation in terms of space and time. A water body is homogeneous, such as a big lake. But from that, if you take 2 bottles of water, 2 bottles with limited volume, say one of 1 liter and the other of 2 liters volume. That is how 2 individual objects come into existence. Even living beings, man, has a well-defined size and shape. An elephant has a different size and shape. This is the technique with which Parabrahma creates the universe. He imposes limitation on a small part of himself. This is called Maya Shakti. Maya means limitations, self-imposed limitations. The universe is there as long as this Maya Shakti exists. There are 3 aspects to the created world: Rajas, Sattva and Tamas. Rajas is the creative aspect, to bring into existence something that is non-existent. A progeny is born to the parents. Parents unite, and as a result of that, a progeny is born. What makes the parents to unite, the karma acting through their bodies, is the Rajoguna. Like this, so many other actions related to Rajas or Rajoguna. We consider Brahma as the governing divinity of all such Rajas-based forces and powers. Then the progeny that is born, that progeny has to live for a certain period, for which it needs nourishment and also protection from external dangers. All such protective and nourishing forces are governed by Vishnu. Then that created progeny has to die at some point of time. All such forces which cause end of a being, living or non-living, they are governed by Shiva. There are different scales to this, from birth, sustenance and death of a tiny fly to birth, sustenance and disappearance of the whole universe. Now, Shakti, Maya, Mahamaya has to have control over all these 3 kinds of forces. For her, it is easy to take control of Brahma and Vishnu because they are inclined to act in favor of creation and sustenance. The marketing personnel of an organization, they will be always open to new strategies because they are trained and oriented towards generation of business. But the compliance team or audit team, you cannot easily influence them to try out new approaches. The existing system is hardwired into them. Like this, Shiva doesn't like creation or sustenance. He likes the state of stillness. Anything that becomes alive, his inclination is to put it to rest. He doesn't like action. He likes inaction. He doesn't like anyone trying to influence him. Influence means what? The person who is trying to influence you would want to get something done by you. But Shiva doesn't want to do anything. He wants to stop all actions outside and even his own actions, if any. He doesn't want to be influenced. But Shakti's task will not be complete unless she controls Tamas also, controls Shiva also. This is what she said in her avatar as Sati Devi. When Brahma told her to get married, she put one condition. Her husband should be someone who would listen to her, never question her. She manages to take control of Shiva also. She becomes Swadhina Vallabha. She shares a common body with Shiva by becoming Ardhanarishwara. Common body means common actions. This way, she starts controlling Shiva. Now, the next stage is to have 2 separate bodies and still control Shiva. Shiva and Sati. 2 bodies, 2 separate bodies. First, she takes hold of half of Shiva's body and then it becomes 2 bodies and still control the husband, Shiva. For this, like any wife and husband, she has to make Shiva interested in her body. This is what happened. Shiva became obsessed with her body. That even after life left her body, Shiva's obsession did not go. He still moved around with her body. Daksha was doing a yaga, a good noble thing. But how did it end up in such a mess? Because arrogance got into him. Any sapariya, any sadhana, any divine act will fail if you become arrogant. about what you're doing. One more thing. Why did Sati Devi leave her body? Where did the body come from? From her parents. When she saw her father's misbehavior, first she walked away from her role as the guiding power of the yaga. Mahamaya only was the support of the yaga. All the energy needed, all the knowledge, all the participants, they were all provided by her only. Then the performer of the yaga misbehaved. He became arrogant. She walked away. The yaga collapsed. Then she started abhorring her body itself, which came from Daksha, who had fallen from nobility. She didn't want that body anymore. So she discarded the body. Shri Jagadambayai Namaha.
यज्ञो हि श्रेष्ठतमं कर्म